Hello folks, welcome to the Mentality of UX. This is my last video of the year. I want to wish everyone out there a Merry Christmas and a successful New Year in whatever endeavor you're going to go into in any job, but specifically speaking to my viewers, especially UX or IT or developer, front-end, back-end, cloud engineering, whatever. And that will get me, speaking of cloud engineering, I think I will do my next video is going to be a bit different. It's going to be whether the future is cloud, internet via cloud or cloud service as a service. So stay tuned to that one as well. So today on the Mentality of UX, I would want to talk about font and the lettering and what type of and how. Well, obviously we know that letters and writing down a sentence will obviously tell you exactly what the application is trying to let us understand what kind of services we get. However, the lettering itself, the style of lettering itself, much like anything else out there, gives someone a psychological understanding of what are we selling, how many fonts there are, whether it's 2, 3, 5, 6, what's the family of font, and obviously the spacing of the font, how is it, where is it. These are all things that can convey a certain level of professionality when it comes to writing styles, font styles, and complementing the style of your application or website. So let's get into it. But first off, I want to just get into a quick little example here. So I want to just aim on this one first. What comes to everyone's mind when we see this kind of font? I'm guessing Facebook or Meta. So yes, it's just a letter, but we know instantly that what is the company which is represented in this type of. It's a letter. It's an F. It's not even the colors of Facebook. It's not the theme of Facebook. However, we know straight away that this is the colors that we get. This is the letter type that we get in Facebook. The next one is another F. However, again, this is an F. But what comes to mind when you see this F? Festivities. What period are we in? Oh yes, we're close to the Christmas period. So for me, this gives an impression of Christmas or festivity. Now, it's strange, isn't it? Because it's just two Fs, not necessarily the same colors as Christmas. I mean, I know this is red, but the top one is not. It's not in the colors of Facebook or Meta. We just know it is the representation of that font. Now this is what I mean psychologically. We know what we're representing. We can associate the type of font with a holiday, a website, an application, a product, and even maybe a certain time and period or a country. We just know it. We just know it when we see it instantly. So it's all about the first impression we get when we see a website and we see the font type. Next, I would like to go into Figma. So I'm going to go into Figma. Let's go into this one first. I don't know how much of that you can see. Okay, this is a very modern feel. However, I noticed that it's very cluttered. There's no much spacing in between the individual letters. There's no spacing at all. I think it would get sore on the eyes. And also the problem is that although this would make a very, very, very good, maybe give you this modern illusion of a modern website, it only has one style in this family. There's no italics, there's no bold, there's no extra thin. There's not really any other variation to this. It's just a standalone, and it's only good for one thing, and that's possibly coming up with a title. Now, what's the problem with this? Now, if you have a very simple website that is basically made on pictures and the navigation is mostly pictures, but it has to be like properly just pictures, or maybe just you need two types of writing, and that's fair, you can use this, but I would still only use this mainly for the title and nothing else. Ideally, in an application, you don't want to use more than 2 or 3 styles. Now, what I would argue that those 2 or 3 styles should be almost in the same family, or maybe just part of the same, or maybe just the same exact one, but maybe with italics. Now, what other examples do we have here? So we have that one. And what I do is, before I create an application, I get different types of fonts, and I basically make what I would be using. So maybe this right here at the top would be maybe just for the title, and then below would be a similar one for the general writings, descriptions, and maybe one for the buttons and other forms of call to actions. So basically, I just go and make different fonts, different if there's really italic or bold or anything. So I would, before creating a website, get some fonts that are related to each other or very close to each other, whether that is Serif Sans or anything that you need to tell the customer you're almost in words, but not writing down in words. And as you can see, I'm using something called Lorem Ipsum here, which is basically it's a application in Figma which basically writes out paragraphs or sentences or whatever you want in the font that you want it. So you can run tests like these. These are all different fonts families, and I would recommend using no more than 3. Maybe one for the title, as I have at the top, maybe for like the brand logo for the top. The next one could be for the general writings, and the next one could be for buttons and call to actions. No more than 3, no more than 2. Now the reason that is, it doesn't look professional if there's too much type of fonts. It looks messy, it can distract, it can give the illusion of lack of professionalism. And then come up with a card. For example, right here I have a card which looks good against the background, the green, the blue, and the title is obviously at the top, Abundance, Ala Omoho. And I know these lettering seem similar, which is also good. I like to keep the title really close to the lettering with the same styles, but that's the point. I like to keep it nice and simple and looking good. So yeah, so again, back to this one. This gives, I actually like this one. I thought it was very modern, and I like to use that for the title of a web application which is based on modern, I wanted to give a modern feel, a kind of an electric modern feel, which I think would have went well with the colors as well. I'm not gonna lie, and especially the buttons as well. But it's the same. There's nothing really close to it. In the end, if you write something bigger, descriptive, I think it would have been sold on the eyes. So guys, I would say if you're creating a website, and you've seen from the Facebook and the Christmas example that letters have the power to influence, even if they don't give you a word that you know or something that makes sense. The font itself will give an impression, much like the color. I would stick with one, not more than 1 or 3, definitely probably 2. And yeah, so that's the font discussed there. And what done this, and then I got the font family. I wrote them down in different. I wrote what they are in h.web, in different styles, different sizes. I wrote it in italics. I wrote it in bold and in normal. Then I've done another one here with Lucia Sans. So I just wrote them down. How would they look? And yeah, and that's how I came to it. So just look at all these types of fonts, and yeah, just come up with your own version. And that's how it is. Now guys, I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, and yes, we'll get back to you with more videos and more educational substance in 2024. Have a good one, folks.